A ground blind is not the best move for every hunt, but there's certain situations where it's the best tool that you've got. In this video, we're gonna talk through 5 situations where a ground blind gives you a serious edge. So let's walk through the 5 reasons why I always keep a ground blind ready to go. Some are obvious, some might surprise you, but each one makes a real difference. So the first situation where I like to use a ground blind is when there's no trees to hunt out of. I'm a huge proponent for getting up in a tree, hunting from a saddle, being mobile, but there's just situations sometimes where that's not realistic. Even right behind me, I have this really nice food plot, but it's just autumn olive, immature trees, buckthorn. There's not really a great tree to get up in 12, 15, 20 feet up. So what I'm gonna end up doing here is just carving out a little spot, putting in a pop-up blind, brushing it in really good, and that's gonna be my primary way of how I hunt from this spot. Other times you might wanna hunt from a ground blind is if you're hunting CRP, open country, maybe you're on a clear cut, and there's just not a great place to set up where you know you need to be within bow range of those deer. The next reason why you might consider hunting out of a ground blind is for the total concealment. My son's almost 2, I'm itching to get him out in the field with me. Him being quiet is a whole nother challenge, but blinds are great for if you're gonna have other people with you, if you're gonna have children with you, youth hunters. That way it hides a lot of their movement. You can get away with a lot more in the blind. On top of that, if you need to stand up and stretch, if you need to take a leak, you can do a lot of that stuff without potentially getting picked off from deer that you may or may not see. This is also super helpful if you film your hunts. It helps trying to draw a bow back and even just digging through your pack or glassing without getting spotted by deer. Now, the next situation where you might want to consider a ground blind is if the weather is going to be bad. Some of my best hunts have been when it's raining or snowing, and being able to be in the shelter of a blind and not being pelted in the face can make a huge difference. It can be the difference of you sitting all day and making sure that you're in the field when it really matters. It also makes a huge difference when I'm filming. I don't have to worry about my camera gear getting wet, but I know a lot of you guys don't film your hunts, but it's just one more advantage of being able to hunt from a blind. The next reason I'll sometimes hunt from a ground blind is just for the overall comfort. You can sit in a chair. You could even bring a comfortable chair like the ones TideWe makes. And then if you need to stand up and stretch, I'm 6'4", and this blind behind me is tall enough for me to stand up completely in, stretch out, stretch my back and get it moving a little bit, and then I can continue hunting. But what's also nice is you can bring a Mr. Buddy heater, you can bring a jet boil and eat some hot food. And things like this can make an enormous difference when it's really cold out, or again, if you have youth hunters with you and you wanna make sure that they have a good experience and they're not freezing cold in the elements. The 5th reason why I'll sometimes hunt from a ground blind is because it's easy to set up. I would prefer to set up my blinds months before season, brush them in completely, and have them set up so the deer can kind of get acclimated to them. But it's really convenient to be able to, again, if it's poor weather, if it's gonna be snowing, windy, cold, you can bring your blind, set it up in a certain location day of. And I've had several instances where I've hiked a blind in the morning, set it up in the dark, and have killed deer that same day. So it's a good route to be mobile if you're somebody that doesn't like getting in a tree, or if it's a situation where it just doesn't allow to get in a tree. It could be a great tool to have in the toolkit. So is a ground blind right for every single hunt? No, but it's just another tool to have in the toolbox that can open up some possibilities where you otherwise might not be able to hunt. I've been using a couple different model blinds from TideWe over the last year. They're super easy to set up. They're really durable. I've left some out for months at a time during the late season, and they've held up incredibly even with tons of snow on them. But I'll link to those down below if you guys want to check them out. But I really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.